So when Thomas was talking this morning about health checks and how do you make sure that your stuff is started before AEM is getting out, before the new instances are serving traffic, I felt a bit interested and challenged, because this is the area where I spent quite a bit of time in the last 18 months on that, health checks. I want to briefly tell you a bit about health checks in cloud service and why they are useful. They're useful because they export a certain state from a system, and it allows us to reason about the state of the system. It means it tells you basically, is the system ready? And this is, as usual, we have OSGI and Sling, and everything is customizable, and everything is extensible, and it's all nice and good, but it's also dangerous, because we drive everything with health checks. It means we make sure when all the relevant health checks are reporting all good, then we start serving traffic. And if your health check, your custom health check, is not serving, saying all good, because for whatever reason, we don't serve traffic. As easy as it is, that means maybe some things are good to actually use a health check for, while others are not. For example, it's a bad idea to say, oh, my backend system is not available, my system is not healthy. Why is it a bad idea? Your backend system goes down, your AEM goes down as well. Not necessarily the best idea. I don't recommend you to do that and to go this specific route and say, wiring health checks to everything. So, on the other hand side, I was quite surprised that these problems show up now 5 years after the launch of cloud service, right? That means probably we have done a lot of things right. Either we ignored the problems and you ignored the problems as well, or there was no problem, and it's sometimes only sometimes a problem. So, first of all, let me come to my health check do's. What you can do. I already pasted the name of this variable, of this environment variable, in the comments of Thomas' talk. This is the environment variable which we expose. It's not officially documented, and it's not documented by purpose, because actually I wanted to trade it as a secret knowledge to the customers where it's needed. And it has a reason, because we need to be opinionated, right? And I think in most cases, prove me wrong. But we didn't have much problems with that. It means there are problems, yes, but not everyone has a problem. The majority of the customers don't have a problem with that. So, use it. If you think you need it, use it. I won't update the documentation, by the way. Put it here, list of comma-separated list of PIDs of components which must be started before the instance is exposed to traffic. If your service activation of this component will fail, your instance will never be ready, period. At that point, you are part of the cloud service lifecycle, of the AEM instance lifecycle. If you're using that, you're using it. If you're breaking it, we won't be able to fix it for you. We don't know. We don't know what your health checks are doing, what your services are doing, and why they are failing. We cannot fix it for you. We can send you an email, that's what we were going to do, and then we will silence the alert. If your service is down, what should we do? We cannot just reconfigure your system for you. Besides that, I would keep that list small, because normally you don't need much on that list. First of all, because the longer this list, that means the worst case is you put all your components into that list. This list will be huge, 1,000 components, or only 100, but each of them, when we iterate them, we will access the OSGI service registry or the component registry, and that it's a little bit, well, there is locking around this, and a lot of different areas of AEM are competing for a lock on that service registry. And I have seen enough cases where that could turn into a bottleneck. And you don't want to add one more factor to that. So keep the list small, keep it relevant. It means you don't need to add components there which are required by other OSGI services as a dependency. That means if you have a large graph, just put let's say the one with the most transitive or direct dependencies into that, and OSGI will take care that the rest of it is there as well. And my personal strong opinion on other health checks to adding to the system, yeah, if you read the logs, you will come across these, so it's basically not any secret thing, it's just not documented, and we won't document it. Don't add health checks to any other health checks to that. As said, you might break the system and we cannot help you. And this is definitely one of the cases where I would say we are not on AMS anymore, you're not on-prem anymore. No one is calling you, but we are writing you an email. I don't know when you will read this email. You might be, whatever, on holidays. So my general recommendation is to work with health checks very carefully. In the end, this is all implementation details. And it's not documented for a purpose, for a reason. And if you want to discuss that, feel free, drop me an email. I'm happy to discuss this. And if you have a convincing use case, I will find a way to implement it this way. But in general, I would recommend you to not just, oh, Jörg showed us something cool, let's jump on that and put all my components on that. That's not what's not my intention. My intention is to actually explain to you what you can do with that and a little bit about the problems which can cause this. And I could probably do a whole session on just how do we do health checks and probes and what are the learnings in there, but that would be probably this content for another adaptTo session where we would share more insights, more secrets, which are implementation details and never public API in that way. I think that's already it. I still have 1 minute something. I will return it to you, Stefan, to the audience, to the next speaker. Thank you.